Still a whisper on my lips, feeling at my finger.
All right, so we should be streaming live from my Facebook page at this point.
We are.
So you both look very lovely, by the way.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So do you.
You know, when you guys sitting together like this, your combined shine. You know, it's really something. It's really something.
Aw.
I appreciate the hell out of it. So, and as I was, well, let me do a quick intro for, you know, just for, you know, for the purposes of, so, my name is Daywalker, hashtag Bearded Butch,
Yes.
host and admin to the Butch Femme main group and affiliates on Facebook and Butch Femme community on YouTube. And I have with me here today Gabby Cohen and Mrs. Gabby Cohen. I am distracted by that tattoo on your hand. That is badass. All right. So and we're going to talk about, I love that. I love that. Well, we're going to talk about, this will be the second time now I've interviewed you on the calendar project.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And going off of memory, last year, there were a few things that you guys wanted to try and do different for the release of this calendar. And how did that go?
So it went well. Also,
Good question.
Mrs. Gabby Cohen is Emily. So
Hi.
we'll make sure.
Emily, yes, Emily.
Throw it
It's
out.
okay.
It was the tattoo. It just threw me.
Abby's the popular one.
It's
fine.
okay.
Emily, you and my wife could talk about that.
There you go.
Good.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, we tried to do some things differently last year. I think than last year. I do think that most things went better. I mean, for one, I didn't have COVID, and we moved across the state, so we didn't have to do that this year.
Yeah.
Although we did get COVID again. So for the third round.
Wow.
Fun.
Yeah, we did get it, but it was not anywhere near like it was the year before.
Yeah.
So that for sure was a difference. So yeah, we did well. We're doing well. They're still on pre-sale. They should be here from the printer in the next week. They're currently obviously on holiday break for the minute.
But we caught you just in time then.
You did.
did.
So we're really excited. We were able to get pre-orders started earlier, and we were able to offer some better, options. And we have a overwhelming amount of support from the community helping us get the word out this year, because we were able to make some more connections and have more time.
Good. Alliances, right?
Yes. Yeah.
They
Well,
really matter.
It's true. I'll say the biggest thing for us is that we don't want to pay the platforms to advertise. So our goal is to put the money back into the queer community. And that's 100% what we're doing. So
Yeah.
we're not going to pay anybody to advertise our posts or promotions. It's all going back into real influencers, real businesses, real people who want to help us get the word out. So,
And this is, this particular culture it's a niche identity. And the fact that what you are doing is to help bring more visibility to butch, stud, and MOC, masculine of center beings in our the glory of the variety of all our humankind is, I'm a big fan of that, of course.
Yeah.
And representation, it matters. And one thing that I've been really trying to push this past year is that butch identity is a valid identity. This is not a stepping stone on the way to being a man, and it is not replicating the male of our species. It is indeed its own niche identity, and that getting even folks within our own community to stop trying to equate masculinity to man.
mhm.
That's that's one of the trails that I've been blazing. Is that they don't own it. But because, and y'all may notice this. Let's say you walk in somewhere like the DMV. Emily walks in, right? And then you walk in. You notice that the average amount of time that someone stares at you is higher. Yes. And some people may not pick up on this, but the presentation of female masculinity still seems to have people intrigued.
That's true.
Well, intrigued in our state here in California. I'd say for the South, it still has the ability to trigger some male fragility, but
there's so much of it.
Yes, and whatnot. So it is different geographically, but were you able to pull in participants from several different states this time?
I was, actually.
Right on.
So this year we have 2 new butches who joined in. We have Lizzie, who is from Texas, and she's the only out-of-state one now. And then we also had Andrea, who lives in South Florida, but she's new to the group. So we knew her, and she's friends with Jen, our long-haired butch. And so she was really inspired by everything that we had done and was basically knocking at the door saying, how can I get involved? And we were able to get Lizzie in, and we're working on, again, more. It's a very close-knit project in that, everybody who's involved is we know personally, because vetting that everybody's on the same page is certainly important, and that we're all committed and willing to not gatekeep, to be open, to do all the things that the project takes. So there's definitely a vetting process that there really needs to be a personal connection, right? The project is just, from me, I mean, I remember when you and I first met, you did the same thing, right? You were like, this is great. I'm going to watch you for a little while, and then we'll talk.
I did.
Like, you were I'm going to just do some homework. But it's really important in our community with the way that, how some people aren't on the same page. And this project,
I was taken by surprise that not everybody with Butch Femme banners above their head follows the full spectrum of the community.
Right.
And I encountered that and gained a couple of haters because I spoke up about it. But listen, just having my name up as an admin gives me instant haters. So
that's true.
So just, if people think that it gives you some sort of position of power, boy, are they wrong.
No, right. Yeah, I think that it is always surprising, but I will tell you that I have been really pleasantly surprised though this year. We did for Trans Awareness Week this week, we did a bunch more posts. I made some I have the stickers. I haven't actually talked about these anywhere yet. You get to know first.
Oh, okay, good.
Some Trans Butch Magic stickers.
Right. There you go. There you go.
Because our posts about Trans Butch Magic and everything else have been so popular, and I think
I shared one.
I think you did.
I think I spotted one. I rarely get outside of the groups in my little bubble and hit the little F for my own feed. And anytime I do, I run across something I'm so glad that I actually caught, and that was one of them. That was one of them.
So I'm happy to say that while we are always double down ready for how much hate we have to keep off of those posts, right? Like to keep an eye on and make sure everything. I think we did. Maybe there was 1 or 2 comments this year, but they were very light, and so I'm really happy to see that our follower base is right, and B, that it's garnering more love and affection for that than the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
When we very first started talking about anything out of the outskirts of a cisgender woman, lesbian, butch, everybody was like, whoa. I was like, I don't know, whoa, back at you. You guys are gonna go.
Mind blowing for people.
I'm gonna just.
You have to put. You gotta put some of the blame of this on Hollywood a little bit.
Sure.
With the L word and what it represents and what your average gay woman on there looks like.
Right.
in appearance. But then we have who I would love to one day be able to interview. We have Abby, who did work in progress.
Mhm.
Right.
That series, by the second or third episode, I was just fanning my face for Klimt. I'm like, oh my God, it's my this is my people. Okay. All the way. I mean, she covered particular things that have ebbed and flowed within our community and whatnot within these episodes. And I couldn't have been more proud. And I felt like, you know, if more people could get a look at that particular show, they'd understand a little bit more about the diversity we represent. We do indeed have the most diverse set of identities as far as gender and sexuality than any other community under the rainbow canopy, and that matters. It's not just Butch Femme. We've got above and beyond, and a lot of this is because you got folks walking around with like plates and no table to sit down at.
Right.
And that's where the stance of inclusion that has served us well has come in. And so the fact that you've got the trans Butch sticker, that right there is where we're able to expand the terms and language. And the sticker itself represents a validation for those who identify as. And I had actually been pondering recently where I don't know, about a decade ago, there was a town hall done, and it was the reasoning behind it was trying to get folks to understand why there's female identified and male identified Butch folks. And recently it's come, I mean, just like a light bulb in my head, I thought, okay, so why male identified? Is that indeed our own people equating masculinity to male? And so I'm gonna have to unpack that one, right?
Right.
But the glory of showing in pictures the calendar, glory of the calendar is representation of what these beautiful vessels look like, and how to appreciate the spectrum of Butch, because Butch is a huge spectrum. And I think one of the reasons why I was keeping an eye on you at first, I wanted to see, you know, because there's a lot of people they'll come out like gangbusters and then they'll fizzle out on us. Yep. You know, and thank you for not fizzling.
You're welcome. We work really hard on that. You know how we do that with really good boundaries with the actually, that's how we do it. You know, there's we get a lot of requests and a lot of questions and a lot of asks for many things, right? And we can only be so many things. And so we work really hard at making sure we've established really good boundaries with the project. Emily, I'm really lucky as my wife, but also she co-runs this entire thing with me.
Well, I'm really glad that Emily's on screen this time.
Yeah, I know. So, you know, she's the co-captain in her own right. It's not, you know, it's not like, oh, here, wife, have this help me with this. She you know, she runs it and thinks about it and comes up with projects and helps offer a varying perspective and uses her production skills and all kinds of millions of talents that we don't have time to go through everyone bullet by bullet, but contributes to all of it. And a lot of those conversations are, where do we have the boundaries and the energy to do XYZ? And that's why because we won't let it fizzle out, right? Like we don't want it to. And so we are in constant conversation about where does it fit? What can we expand to? What can we do? You know, what can't we do yet? What do we have to do in 2023? What do we have to wait for 2024, like, right? So
There's like an order and a flow kind of has to
yeah.
be kept in mind, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. So like we
I heard that.
yeah, there really does. But you know, so we have like our live stream that we did that I started, Butches and Bubbles, where I'm in the tub talking, and we got a lot of
Oh
requests.
Jesus! See, I need to get out of
You
my
haven't
bubble.
even
I need
seen
to get out of my
it, yeah.
bubble.
It's right out of your bubble.
So good.
I missed that completely. Tell me more about that.
It's a lot of fun. So basically, I mean, so we're 90s kids at heart, and so it's very much based off man, now I can't remember.
From there was a show on
show called All
Nickelodeon.
That, and man,
Pierre
Escargot, right? So he was in the tub and he just did funny stuff. So
he would just say stupid,
he would just say
funny
silly things.
stuff.
And I was recovering from the flu, as it were, or
Yeah, you
from
were
COVID.
sick.
I
You
was
had the
sick, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if we just like went live from the bathtub? It was like
Weird
So
fever
you,
rising.
guys, so you went with delirium.
yeah,
Right.
but you know what? It worked. Because then we've had great like connections with bath bomb companies and Transzone soap companies and all kinds of stuff that we've been able to do. So, but there's been a call for it lately since we started doing it, to do it as a podcast instead of just a live event. And that takes a little bit more work and consistency. And so it's what we're looking to do for, you know, that was, again, we were like, all right, so there's a big ask for this from our audience, and our audience really drives what we do, right? Like,
Sure, yeah.
That's why I use the captain analogy, because like I'm steering the ship, but I'm not.
You're not necessarily the only navigator.
Right, exactly. So I was like, all right, well, we're going to switch it to a podcast, but that's going to take some work. So we're going to wait until after the first of the year to start it that way, right? But those are the types of things that, you know, that's the boundaries that we have, that we're like, great, we love that you're so hyped for this. We love that you want that. We're going to work it out. But you know what? That's going to have to be in the following year.
Yep.
So, you know, that's the
Which
way that
we're right up on top of.
But yeah,
Yeah,
which is sure,
like tomorrow, practically.
which is fine.
Feels like it, doesn't it? What is
But, yeah.
the average age, would you say, of your followers?
So that's interesting.
That's an interesting question.
Instagram
could probably tell you.
Instagram can tell me. I can tell you literal numbers, right? Like off analytics. However, it does span quite a high range of people. I know that there's, let's see, let me pull up the real number, but that's just Instagram.
This is just Instagram.
We also have
giving your
TikTok and
insights,
Facebook
right?
and everything. Right?
I think that I don't know that there's necessarily an average age, because we've had so many people as young as like 16 and 17-year-olds, like young queer teenagers, reach out and say how amazing it is that they can see people who look like them, which is emotional, because we didn't really experience that as kids, right? And now, like, here's a 17-year-old butch kid who can be like, oh my God, I can see a whole calendar of people who look just like me.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. It's
Well,
special.
let me tell you why that means a lot to me, and that is because you know I'm. What are your ages again?
So essentially, the
No,
biggest,
you, Gabby and Emily.
I'm 36.
I'm 39.
All right. So as somebody who is almost 20 years ahead of you, I have been worried about handing the baton off.
Sure.
I have been worried about the lack of numbers for youth. And it's probably because the only statistics I have to go off of are the ones Facebook has given me.
Right.
Looking at them now in the back screen here, we've got the highest percentage is ages 35 to 44, but the next one up is 45 to 54.
Right.
And then it just goes down as the age, but the ranging, what I wanted to see an increase in were younger folks, and in order to make sure that the work that we're doing today sustains itself, and it keeps us relevant, we have to look for look to our youth. The problem I personally had over the last couple of years was finding those in certain age ranges that will come to me with a little bit of humility and not their ego. That's tough, right? That's tough stuff. So I'm still on the search. There comes a time when, we'll eventually have to retire. And we're going to come up on the 14th year
Wow.
of hosting the main group.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Listen, it just started off as, oh, I'm just going to open up this group because, the original site was going to go dark and we were all going to lose contact with one another. And there was kind of a scramble. And, it was just like this little spirit of volunteerism. And it turned into this monster.
Yeah.
We've hit 23,000 members worldwide. Had I anticipated that? Hell no.
Right.
Crazy.
But now, it's more important to me that what gets put onto our feed is accuracy,
Right.
and positivity. And that all the voices of those who are outside of the Butch Femme dynamic, but still within the community as Butch or Femme identified, etc., all get equal time and space on the feed.
Yeah.
And without the gatekeeping. And I'm going to hand this back to you for a few minutes because I want you to talk about the identities that you are seeing more of step up to possibly even want to be a part of your project.
Yeah. So all of them, right? So, honestly, we're seeing a lot of, so we often talk from, so again, as the captain, dynamic captain, is that I can only speak for my story. So the biggest message that we give out when we say stuff is that like this, I can talk for me. I can talk for my Butch Femme dynamic with my wife. The Butches in the crew can talk about their dynamics with their wives, and spouses. But we can't speak for everybody. And so we always try to be inclusive of that. I do see a lot more Butch for Butch people coming out and saying like, this is fantastic, but Butch Femme is so prevalent. How do I find Butch for Butch? And so,
come on over to our main group where we welcome all of that.
Right, exactly. And so we're always like, listen, I promise you that it's there, and use our comment section to connect with somebody who said the same thing, or join these groups, or here's who's progressive, or follow this account, etc.
It's on my list of panels
It's
as well.
Important. And just labeling as Butch and deciding to be whoever you're attracted to. I believe that I've seen also so much happiness and validation from pansexual and bisexual Butches. So
oh, I can hear the gasping right now.
Yeah, which has been a point of contention.
It has, people are like, I don't believe that, and I'm like, but
because Butch, there's so much gatekeeping around.
There's so much gatekeeping about it. As people are connecting with their gender identities, right? Butch is stationary, I think, right? If you identify as Butch, whatever your gender identity might shift to, it
still isn't not connected with your sexuality.
It's really not. It's not, and it's stationary, right? So our kid identifies with the word Butch. When they first heard it, our kid was like, this is amazing. And they're exploring their identities through their life, they're like, oh no, I'm always still that. And I'm like, well, yeah, right. That's the point, right? I'm always still that, no matter what else I learn about myself, right? But language in our community is becoming so expansive to learn, about how, that these types of things are non-binary. And like, so much of that comes from sharing stories. It comes from people who are making videos on TikTok. It comes from so many people who are doing so much to be like, oh yeah, this is how I felt. And they're like, oh, so that's what it feels like to be non-binary. Cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, and
or that's what
there's
it
people
means.
coming at it from many different strokes.
Yeah.
For non-binary, you find a cisgendered hetero female who says I'm non-binary, and what she's trying to say is I'm no longer going to sit under this rule that says
Right.
act like a lady,
Exactly.
man up. Just, you know, the construct. These are folks who are not even using it in a category that has to do with their sexuality or gender ID, that has to do with the cessation of stopping in its tracks the social constructs that place us all under certain rules that we have to follow according to how our vessel was born. And I love that we have such a kickback on that. But within our own community, it does have meaning towards I identify as agender, so it's other gender, not male, not female, just somewhere else out there. And
You're you.
I am, and
You're just who you are, right?
And I've always been like that, always. And I want to shout out to my mommy, who's always gotten that, as well as my sisters. I've got a fabulous family of folks who know me very well, and it didn't take them but a half a second and a half a blink once I explained it for them to go, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
You know, so, and my mom's 82. Shout out to mommy. Hi, mommy. And I love my mommy. So within our own community, it does have different meaning when you say non-binary. I did notice that predominance of folks who are in the non-binary groups are younger.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have a huge wave of fluidity. Coming up in the youth, and that was part of the worries that I had is it would our own community and culture get left behind as antiquated, and to avoid that, we have folks like you doing what you're doing. My own personal crusade where I do have to get out of my own bubble to do more of that, and you're. Let's talk more about that bubble bath thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, though. This has been so much fun.
So fun. It's so fun. It's a good time.
It is. It's just, I mean, it's just something like silly to do to get people to not be so damn serious, right? And the thing is that we're talking about a lot of serious topics sometimes because representation, like honoring representation and creating space for representation means that there isn't enough. So we have to address the fact that something's going on that's not allowing us to create that space, right? So there is a lot of serious talk. Like sometimes we talk about, you know, the things that are happening in this world that, you know, are really horrible, like the stuff we've just recently experienced in Colorado and stuff that's happened here, like in the Orlando area and Florida, and just everything that's going on, right? Like in our state, we're seeing all kinds of legislation that's removing, access to healthcare for young trans people, and it sucks. This is all really serious crap that like we have to deal with. We can't run away from it. So having that like fun, silly,
it's tough to watch our own people though get wrapped up in the political ball of yarn, you know.
It's
That's
really
true,
rough.
yeah.
It's hard, and so if we can put a little spin on it to make people feel like it's okay to be silly and it's okay to have fun and to feel good,
and to unpack the serious stuff.
Yes, and we do it at the same time because Gabby will sit in the bath and then also talk about like being a young person going to Pride for the first time, right? So like it's a cool combination and people seem to love it.
Yeah, it's also very much my personality, right? So this
It is.
It just is.
So what do you so you just end the show when the bubbles start disappearing?
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
That's exactly how it works.
You got it. I was like, I'm gonna talk until the bubbles run out, and then we're done.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happens. I'll look down. I'll be like, there are no bubbles.
Well, no bubbles.
So, bye. We talk till the bubbles run out. It does. It offers that. It also, you know, it's a great way for us to be able to connect with other people. For people to ask questions when we. So
you're doing that on Instagram?
Yes.
Well, we did TikTok last
time. It's been on
too.
Instagram. We also did TikTok last time.
I think we've done like 5 or 6 of them in the last couple years. We don't do it. We haven't done a ton yet.
Wait, my wife just walked back in and she's got this look on her face. She goes, wait, they're taking a bath together on Instagram?
Yeah, we're all getting in the bath.
Everybody
Come on,
get
join
it up.
us.
It's fine. We're all clothed. It's fine, really. It's not.
Everybody's wearing clothes, promise. This is not an OnlyFans
We're all
opportunity.
Isn't that against community standards?
No. We're totally, everybody's clothed. And I'm not even
until
in
the
bath,
bubbles
it's
all
just
pop.
Gabby.
I would think that you're still within that range until all the bubbles
Can
are
I
going.
just say I love the phases of the moon?
Oh,
thank
faces.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all looking on the wall behind you. And
Like,
shit.
what are you looking for?
So that's
I'm staring at my chest.
It's all your art.
That's where yeah, okay. Yeah, look at my wife. She goes, that's where you need to be looking. Yeah. So
I'm gonna get my hair done like hers.
we're on what, how many years now, doll?
Oh, 19.
So 18.
No, 19.
We're going towards 19.
No, we are.
We will hit 19 in April of
You
this
just
coming
need to
year.
listen.
You don't know. You don't know.
Mega congratulations.
That's amazing.
Listen, it's amazing, and that's something that we
Amazing.
really
You him, it's amazing.
we love. It is amazing.
It is.
But we love to see that, though. That's missing, right? So you've talked to me as the older generation to the younger generation to your generation. This is amazing to see. It's queer people succeeding together and staying together for 19 years and
We don't have a
having
lot of those rules.
long-term
But
happy
see what
relationship.
happened was, I threatened him.
Yeah.
I threatened
Hey,
him. He
Is that how it
said-
works?
Well, I'll tell you
Okay.
what.
sometimes
I waited 8 years to drop a knee, and I'll tell you why. Because then, if she said yes, I didn't want to hear it because she's had all of me. She knows all of me. All right. So just recently, she come to me and asked to do it again when
Aww.
we hit our 20 years.
I know. I don't know. What
Now
that
I
is.
for sure don't want to hear it. All right.
She's had plenty of time.
we may have to fly out for that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a 20th renewal.
I'm gonna come
All right.
through right at that one.
Send
That's
us some
good.
invites for that. We want to be there for that.
Well, you're some of the first people I've invited. Babe, you did say yes, right?
Before you start putting this out there.
yes, Dollface, I sure did.
Whew, that- you had me worried for a second.
Well,
I mean, because I done got people attending now.
I can be a lot. I think
You gotta guess.
it was my wife who I heard describe me. She didn't know I could hear her. She was telling somebody else. She says she was describing me as, well, Daywalker can be a lot to take in, and I thought,
All right.
oh, that's fair. That's fair. So
When people are online, they only know that side of you. When they meet you, it's different.
I don't get it. I don't know how.
Well, first of all, people think you're tall.
Yes, they all think I'm tall.
They all think you're 6
So
feet
I
tall.
must be bigger than life online, right?
You've got the short butch thing going on.
You got
I'm just following my family line. We all shrink down to gnomes, you know. But I used to be like, I don't know, 5'7" almost, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting somewhere around
Well, you know,
5'5"
people
now.
Yeah.
Most people have 1 or 2 things they're passionate about in
Right,
life.
right.
Not you. You have to go above and beyond. Okay.
That's
Well,
right.
I've got my art and I've got
Yeah.
rocks. I've got rocks everywhere. And
This
whatnot.
is
Don't even get me started on the rocks. I'll start showing you. Really?
Yes, we have. Oh man, we've got a whole look.
Fine, Daywalker.
It's fine. We're good.
Oh,
Don't worry.
see.
We're all on the same page.
There's
I
always a
know.
rock within reach. Don't worry.
Well, look now. I told myself I wasn't going to veer off track from that
Do
calendar.
not get them started.
I know. I'll be
And
right
It's happening, though.
Let me get this.
No. Oh my
get
God,
this.
here we go.
Wait, no, not veering off track. Look, I'm not even getting rocks, y'all.
You're
Falling over.
just getting rocks?
No, I'm not getting rocks.
No, the portal. It's the portal, so it moves.
It's the portal. The portal follows.
It's
Trying to
trying
follow
to
you.
follow.
I just want everybody to see the very first one.
There you go. That's us.
Which, yes,
Is
it was
it
handy
autographed?
on my coffee table over
Is it
there.
autographed?
And it's not. But I wanted to mention that while last time I was supposed to get some free stickers, what you did was you put stickers and you undid the sticky and you stuck them on the inside. I didn't get to stick them on my car.
No,
they were just taped.
They were just taped there.
It was just taped. They
Oh,
like
no,
melt in the heat.
Did it melt?
Oh, look, okay. I tried. Never. I want everybody to know that was my bad. And there they are.
You've had that for a whole year?
It's all right. I upgraded. We've got little poly bags to drop them in now. So
Yeah,
thank you on that
we
issue.
upgraded our shipping.
So
we
I'm
There's
looking
that.
forward to seeing the next new one.
Yeah.
That's right.
That for my fee of a quarter, I did a calendar, correct?
Look at her. Look at her.
Yes.
She's trying to go on
absolutely.
camera.
Okay, so
Anyway.
go ahead and make that.
So do folks have a chance to get the first one again?
The first one we're out
We're
of.
totally
we sold
sold
out, and we had a handful left, and we donated them to our friends up at Lesapalooza.
Okay, all right.
So they gave
So
them
I'll
out.
take that, my calendar, I want it autographed, autographed.
Look, she's starting to do bullet points on her fingers. You can't see her right now.
Got a list.
Like an
Autograph?
autograph?
Thank you in advance.
You
We
know.
got it.
So, yeah, I
Yes, that's
couldn't
exactly
be
what
more
I'm
thrilled with
doing.
what you guys are doing.
I'm doing the,
Thank you.
That's exactly, she knows.
Yeah. And so I want to thank you guys for taking the time and for going through the failed experiment this morning of Facebook. It only happens when I'm trying to get you on screen.
That's
Gabby.
okay. That's fine.
You
It's
guys
because-
should talk to us more often. We're really nice people.
Yeah.
No.
We should do this more often.
We should.
We
Do this
should.
more.
In your defense, I'm kind of a recluse. You know,
Same.
I'm very extrovertal, but I'm also a recluse. So
Yeah.
So
Well-
I've been reclusing this for
Listen, I
months now.
understand.
So
We understand. We'll make a point to do this more often than once a year.
and I'm making it a point to be more present online and to do a little bit more for the community as far as edification. Because it's once again it's rearing itself in the submitted posts we get in the group. How much needs to be said still, but visibility and relevance doesn't happen on its own.
Nope.
No, it doesn't. We got to do the
It only happens when folks like yourselves, there was a saying that take a minute to care. You take two. When you take two, when you take two to care, that's it's noticeable. That's what I'm picking up on.
Mhm.
So
With y'all being the younger generation, I'm glad that they are involved and they do a lot in ways of bringing the community together and bringing it into light.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need
and
some
my wife's
really
just a wee
strong-
bit more elder than I am. So
What did you say?
I said you're just a wee bit more elder than I am.
I'm a little more elder than
She's
Gabby.
she's 8 years more elder. She said it.
I am.
She got to I get to play that song for her this year when I'm 64.
Yeah.
So
No, I turned
Yeah.
65 my next birthday.
next birthday,
Yeah.
see how she does this? She jumps ahead.
Yeah,
I
so
said
just-
I said this year I got to play when
Don't
I'm 64.
Don't listen to
So
me
she's
now.
like, no, I'm going to be 65 than you, but you are 64. So she is.
We went to CVS or Walgreens one day, or we were at some store, and they did something, and this dude behind us said, "Well, you know how your kids are," insinuating.
This was
that
10
they
years
was
ago.
my child.
This was 10 years ago.
Well, at that time, I
She's
was-
not let it go
No,
Oh my
Oh,
God.
man.
because I'm 12, right? Because I'm
Yeah,
constantly a
you're right.
12-year-old. So dude thought I was her kid,
But you upset me so bad. You will always look younger, babe, because you've held up, you've preserved yourself with ganja.
with ganja. Yeah,
Yes.
I've got ganja.
And being
Seth,
a
Uzi.
recluse, right?
I've got
The more you
right,
hide
right.
out, the better you.
Plus,
right.
I shy away from the sunlight because I
Sure.
sizzle. Right.
There you go.
All
Me
the
too.
Daywalker features are true.
Yeah, I get so worried about him. He goes rock hunting at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay,
with high-powered lights
with high-powered lights.
and pulling my wagon behind me.
Look, and
But then you can't get sunburned.
or a riverbed, dry riverbed, some shit like that. In the middle of summer, that's not a good idea. Rattlesnakes, cougars,
I give them all their room and they give me mine. I'm good.
Y'all seen that meme that says, you know, my last words were, "Here, kitty, kitty." That would be Day.
That's
That's you.
So,
The only time I have ever packed my shit up and gotten to the car as fast as I could is I heard some coyotes a little too close.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah,
they were laughing at
Generally,
They were
generally
laughing at your ass saying, "Oh, here's a good one."
but generally that doesn't bother me. But something made me feel weird about it that day. And sure enough, what happened was, what happened was,
They were
on my
hungry.
way back out the path and coming up, there was a wild dog at the top.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
And so me and him had to have a quick talk. And I said, if your friends are up there, all y'all need to just, okay, because I need to go this way. So
So now that it's like 32 and below,
degrees,
you know, he's staying home.
Yeah, yeah. But I have lots of work to do outside with a ton of rocks to organize.
A ton? Are you serious? More like 4 tons.
I found an area recently that's been untapped, and I'm finding the most beautiful pieces there. So
right.
anyway, look. I said I wasn't going to veer off the calendar, so let's
Okay, no.
back to the calendar. This is
Oh,
my
I'm
wife's house.
sorry.
Back to the calendar.
Oh, that's a good one. No, look, the other side.
Have you not looked at this?
No,
It's
I've
been sitting
not,
on the table.
apparently. I don't get it on that table because
Let me.
there's
Oh, because there's rocks?
You two are amazing. I swear to God, you're just amazing. I can't believe you.
You both need to be on TikTok.
This
have
is
a look
perfect.
out.
Yeah, I see one in the middle there. It's kind of
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
They
She loves. I love to watch her just go. Oh
They
Lord.
doesn't get to the stems. Oh, that one's cute. Who is that?
See that?
Oh, that one's cute too.
On that. You know what? That's a perfect place to stop this right there.
Right?
Is it-
Everybody's
Listen.
cute.
Listen, all of Gabby's friends are hot. I got lucky.
I'm wrong. Every one of them.
All
Oh,
of
look
Gabby's
at-
friends are hot, man.
It's great.
Jesus. Well, my wife didn't get too lucky because I actually don't have a heavy collection of friends. What I have is a jillion acquaintances.
Okay,
So
we got the back side and then we got the front side. Gabby,
Well,
you're
let her-
on this, right?
what?
Isn't that Gabby?
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No, it is, isn't it?
No.
No.
Keep going.
That's not Gabby?
Keep flipping. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go now. We're gonna end this.
This
That
is
is
delightful. Thank you so much.
I
for
got a lot
everything
of love for you
you've
guys.
done.
I'm gonna
And
take this
everything.
video and do the editing thing. And thank you to my sister for sending me some RAM to help the
Thank you
processing
guys
along.
for tolerating
And it'll end up on YouTube, but the replay is going to remain on my page until then.
Yay.
All right.
Awesome.
So
Thank you
all right.
so much.
So
We appreciate
much.
you so much.
I love you
Hey,
guys.
what would y'all
Yeah.
think about us doing a film calendar?
Bye.